What's up, YouTube land? What's up, everybody? I ain't been live in a long time, man. So I'm trying to figure this thing out. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. Hold on. I'm trying to see. Okay. Here we go. Um, like I said, I'm figuring this thing out, man. What's up, everybody out there? I wanted to go live, man. The plan is I actually, want to give some updates on the channel and, just the state of the business. That's all, the state of the business, my business, your business. Let's see what's going on. Whatever's happening in the economy right now. How's it affecting you? All right. I got somebody in the building. They say that's all you need. That's all you need. What's going on, Curtis? I'm just out here today, man. I was doing a little drywall work earlier and put some fans on it so I can go back a little later and get it all sanded up and primed. I figured in the meantime, man, I didn't realize it had been this long, but it's actually been, whew, I think a year and a half. It's been like a year and a half since I went live, which is not a year and a half quite, but it was like last February since I went live. I'm like, that's insane. So I'm just trying to get some updates here, see how everybody's doing out there, with their business and how business is going. We're like mid spring, getting to the summertime. So, most of us should probably be in full blown, you know, just I don't know, just high speed business right now. You know, right now, I know with me, what I will say though is now I've been around. This is my seventh year. This is my seventh year, full time in business, and I I say this now. I haven't advertised in years. I do have stuff. I have a website and Google my business. I have all that stuff, whatever. So when people go searching, they can find me. But uh, I don't have any kind of advertising that I do, right? So I will say this year, as far as the phone ringing, man, it's probably been the slowest year I've ever seen on like period. Now luckily I got a lot of repeat business and I get a lot of referrals and things of that nature. So, and I don't need many, I don't do a lot of small jobs. I do mid-sized jobs and I kind of fill in little jobs here and there with direct customers and I still do Home Depot. Um, so if you see me looking down too, it's once again, I'm getting used to this whole streaming thing, man. So I got my camera up here, but then my computer is down here in front of me, my laptop. So I'm looking there at the camera, but then I'm looking back down at the computer to read the comments. But I see Curtis again. They inspire me. Which teach me to fix. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Hey, I really mean that. I appreciate it, man. I mean, that's that's what I'm here for. Like I said, there's a few reasons why I'm doing this whole channel. It's one big reason. I'm not going to front, man. One big reason, like I said, I want to teach the business and to teach people how to fix stuff. But one reason I see is that, there's a lot of guys, a lot of people growing up right now that aren't learning these things when they're younger, not learning the basics of how to fix things, just how things work, how your house works, how your apartment works, just how things around you work, right? So, for me, it's one of those things where I just want to be able to, teach the next people things. And believe it or not, like, it's hard to find people to work with, right? So I also figured that this is one way I can get out here and actually show people the business and show people all different kinds of ways to figure out how to do this and how to do that without spending years and years and years of time working for somebody, which some people are gonna have to. Sometimes you're just gonna have to work for somebody. It's just how it goes. Other times there's a lot of this stuff that you can figure out yourself, right? And I just think a lot of us didn't grow up with it. So I'm hoping that I can get people. You might not even want to have a business with this. You might just want to figure it out so you can do it on your own, on your own projects, on your own house, and maybe be able to help your mother out or help your grandmother or somebody else in your community. I felt really bad one time. This is I'll be just straight up. I went to a lady's house. The lady, her and her husband were both of them were in wheelchairs, man. And so I'm doing an estimate for painting, and then I'm leaving, and then she's like, do you mind putting the light bulbs out there's like two light bulbs on the front porch that she, see if I could put them up for her. And I'm thinking like, man, like there's nobody in the community, like the neighbor or somebody, usually a little kid that that can come over here and just do those little tiny things. So I started thinking it's just time. It's just time for us to start getting out here and doing more of this. A bit of everything. What's going on? ADOS, Kansas City, Missouri, checking in. What's happening, sir? What's going on, bro? Like I said, Kansas City. No, that's not that. My brother he just left St. Louis. But yeah, Kansas City. I've always wanted to go down in that area. We'll be getting around though. Me and the wife soon. We'll be getting out and going different places, doing some things. But yeah, so I wanted to check in with people, people that are some people that are in business, some people that are not. With everything going on with the economy, I don't want to, there's a lot of people who will get online and then talk about how great everything is all the time. But also, there's a lot of people that doom and gloom people too. So I don't think we need to be either one of those. I just think sometimes it's just reality, right? So I wanted to get on and talk about the reality right now of with the economy, with business, with pricing and how things are. Because I'm gonna be honest, BK from the Rockies. Hey, what's going on, man? Hope everything's good with you, bro. Yeah, I mean, it's with everything that's going on in society, it's affecting somebody's business. I know there's people out there that are trying to get started. I've said before, as a matter of fact, I was talking to my wife about that looking at the prices of everything, and like I said, excuse me, I just saw on the camera, I got, drywall mud on me and stuff. I'm getting it in today. Um, the if everything cost like it did, like the way put it like this, the way things cost now, man, when I don't know, when I was just starting out, it would have been a little bit of a struggle. It would have been a lot of bit of a struggle, to get started because certain things have just went up so much and so fast, with the inflation. So it's like take it instead of my trailer. My trailer, I bought it in 2020. It was about 30 this is with taxes. So it was the trailer plus taxes. It's a 6x10. Um, it was with the door on, with the RV door on the side. And it was about $3,400 for like, I don't know, the trailer plus the enclosed trailer. Let me say that enclosed trailer plus it was tagged for 5 years, something like that. It was taxes and tags. I'm sorry. The tax and tag for 5 years, 5 years for 3,500. Man, the same trailer. I haven't even looked this year. I think last year I looked earlier in the year. It was like $6,000 for the same trailer. I mean, if I was starting out and like I said, I was able to get everything cash and I was, so as I was going, that's how I built it. I was just going cash, everything, just buying stuff straight up. And it's getting a little harder and harder to see how people are doing it now. Oh, you BK listening while he's working. Yeah, I do that too. I do that with a lot of lives, man, where, you know, it's always good to work and listen. Matter of fact, I'll be doing it later because like I said, this same house, I'll be going back that I was working on this morning. I'll be going back because I need to finish it out. It's just time for me to close it out, man. I've been dragged it out. It's a lot of drywall repair. Actually, I'm recording it, so I will be making a video out of it. But it's a lot of drywall repair and painting and that sort of thing. A little bit of trim, but not much. So, but yeah, I'll be doing that later. So I'm all about listening while I'm working. But yeah, so but as far as the state of the business goes, I'm doing okay right now. Like I said, I've worked long enough to be able to build up and get referrals and things of that nature. Um, so between that, I don't need, and I don't do a lot of little jobs. And one reason I don't do a bunch of little jobs is I don't have time to. It just takes longer. It just takes a lot more time to create more estimates and managing a bunch of small jobs versus for me, say my phone rings twice a day, twice a day for 30 days. Do that's 60 leads. If that's all, my phone just rings. I get 60 leads a month. Dude, I really only need like 8 jobs a month. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Maybe even less depending on what I'm doing. Some jobs I'll take it'll be a week and a half, and I'll have 2 of those jobs, and that'll be my month. And then I'll just get some extra little installs here and there. And then a lot of times, I just had one, matter of fact, where I did somebody had a countertop that they had installed. They called me to put in all the plumbing after they got the countertop installed. Ah, Sebastian, what's going on, man? Hope everything's good down there. Willie Robbins, Big Willie from Michigan. Thank you for showing the knowledge and inspiring. You rock, brother. Hey, man, I appreciate you too, man. I appreciate you. Like I said, it's just time. We need to get out here and share some of this knowledge and information. And if the more people I can reach, it's just the better. Now, one thing I say, and I'll talk about the updates with this channel in a little bit, because believe it or not, man, I've been on here for like a little over 3 years. Is when I started YouTube. Now, last year was it was a struggle. It was a struggle, man, getting videos out. I think the whole year I put out like 9 videos or something like that, maybe 9 for the whole year. So we're trying to change that this year. That's why I'm talking about some updates that I have going. But let me see. All right. So one of the things that I did want to talk about as far as the channel is concerned is what I'm trying to do this year is I'm trying to make a lot more videos and get this channel built up a little more. Um, it Believe it or not, and maybe one day I'll even show that, just in case if somebody wants to make their own YouTube channel, or you don't have to do it the way I do it. Of course, everybody has their own method. But these things can take a while, like to set these videos up and like do the editing, all the recording. I mean, sometimes you get to a job, and that's why I see why a lot of people just stop doing it. I think with what I do, I mean, when I started the channel, there was like, I don't know, it was like 10. It was probably like 10 channels starting all at the same time, man. It was all just a bunch of guys all in the same doing the same thing, like handyman style work or just small contracting work. And there's only 2 of us still doing it. It's only me and Ray. I don't know if y'all know Ray over at Bulletproof Handyman business, but at this point, it's just us making the videos now. I'm certain that somebody else will come, eventually somebody new will start up, but it just takes a lot of work. Just setting up the cameras and moving the cameras around. Like, you're at the job, sometimes you just want to go. You just want to go get the job done. So I've had jobs where I just couldn't even record just because it's just going to take too much work to set this camera up over here, or you set a camera up. The next thing you know, you were standing in front of it, or man, the microphone wasn't working, or the camera's overheating, and then you lost footage. Just so many different things. You finish in one spot, got to move to another, got to change the camera set. It's more than you think. And then you got to once you do that, you got to get it all home and edit the videos and stuff. So there's a lot to these YouTube videos, but I love doing it. But I just got to be realistic. I had to start at some point. You got to make some money off of it, or it's just not worth doing it's just not worth the time. But what I don't want to do is I'm not charging anybody for anything here, as far as you guys, anybody's watching. I figure, things will come my way regardless. So I'm not worried about trying to nickel and dime, doing like channel memberships and stuff. I'm not sitting up here on Mount Pius either. Like Bill Simmons says, I love that saying, man. Not sitting up here on Mount Pius saying like anybody who charges anything for the channel, I'm just higher, the holier than thou, whatever. Nah. Do what you want. I mean, I don't really care. Just as far as me though, the way I'm gonna be able to work the channel out is just working with sponsors. There's a few different things I have in mind, but one of them is going to be working with sponsorships. And I only ever wanted to work with a sponsor if it's something that I believe in, if it's a product that I like, um, if it's just something that I love. I mean, I've never really held back that fact. I've talked before. Makita, I don't know what you're doing. Like, you call me now. You know what I mean? Like, send me a message, do something. Like, I'm perfect, from Makita. Just love Makita. But, I've had plenty of offers for, the people want to send me their product for me to make a video with. And I don't know. I just don't. I just don't. But I finally said there was one product that came my way, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So it's official, man. I've joined forces with Jobber. Jobber, and I know you've probably seen Jobber all over the place, but we're gonna talk about Jobber from a different perspective. Not now. Not now. Not right now. I'm just letting you know that, that's one thing, a sponsor that I believe in, man. I believe in. I see how they work. I've been dealing with them for a little while now, and they, I'm actually they're sponsoring the channel. They're in, I'm an advocate or influencer for them. And so you'll be seeing some stuff at some point with me and Jobber coming up in the future. But yeah, I don't want to turn my channel to a big infomercial either. So you won't have to worry about any of that. But like I said, in order to, do this YouTube thing, you have to. You kind of have to. You got to make money some way because it just takes so much time. It'd be like doing your business and then just not getting paid for it. At some point, you got to get something because it's just all the hours and hours and hours you're spending. You got to make something for it. Yeah, but anyways, that's really the bigger deal. And as far as that goes, what also that will allow me to with working with different sponsors is I'll be able to actually spend more time creating the videos. So that's been my biggest issue I've had is I just run out of time. I just run out of time, man. Just being straight up. I'll record stuff. I'll have stuff recorded. I'll be editing, but then sometimes I'll have a project it's just so involved that I don't have time to stop and just make a video. It's the thing with working for yourself. It's if the job has to get done, it's not always that it's a 9 to 3 schedule every day or 9 to 4 or something like that. Sometimes I'm there, sometimes I'm there 8 o'clock at night because I'm trying to finish in a certain time frame. I'm not worried about the 8-hour day or nothing like that. Sometimes it's a 12-hour day. And it's just what it is because this project, I want to be done in 3 days. So that's the only way to do it. Only way you're gonna get done in 3 days is if you spend 12 hours a day doing it. You gotta suck it up and just get it done. I mean, that's what you're signing up for, especially when you're working by yourself or running your business. So, and it's working out. But yeah, So that's where we're going with this channel. I'm gonna try to do more lives. What I'd like to do is my original plan was to do, a regular video every week and then a live every week. So basically 2 videos a week. what I've been trying to do is go back and forth with a business video and then a working video, and go back and forth with that, or sometimes have it in the same week where I have a business video and then later in the week I come with a video of me working or doing a job or doing something that has to do with the work or the tools or something like that. And then later in the week doing a video about the business or frame or mind frame or something like that. So it's just a toss up, like um I actually enjoy doing the lives. So I'd like to do more of those, especially if I can get them on site. If I can start doing some lives actually from the job site, I'm gonna do more of those as well. HR McNair, hey, how you doing? How you doing? He says, finisher himself, love your videos. They motivate me. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate that. I absolutely appreciate that. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. You know, anybody that it helps, man. Like I said, you pass them along to people that you think that they'll get something out of it. Because, like I said, it's not all about creating business. A lot of it for me, it's just about. It's more creating the mentality that you can do something. I've known a lot of people over the years that didn't make moves because they were just scared to make them. I mean, and a lot of times they were scared or nervous because it was just something that they'd never done before. But at some point, we got to get past that. We got to get past this thing of not being able to move or being stuck because we just worried about what we can do or can't do or whatever, or what we never touched. I mean, just because you never touched a tool before. Look, the first job I did out in construction, like I said, I was an insulator, right? I had no other jobs in construction before that. Before that, I was working at a bank. I was doing customer service at a bank. It was a terrible job. And before that, I had done warehouse work and I worked at stores and fast food and all kinds of other jobs. Never anything in construction. But what it actually just stuck in my mind because I had a friend that did insulation at one time. He had told me about how much money people were making. And this is like the late 90s, like 98, 99 or something like that. And I was like, I was trying to think of what I could do to make enough money to live on my own, because all these other jobs, they were okay, but they're not. It was, just like right now, it's a struggle for people to live on their own. It was just a struggle back then. It's worse now, but it was still a struggle back then to make enough money to live by yourself. I was like struggling to figure out what I could do. And something in the back of my mind just reminded me that, hey man, my boy Demetrius, he told me about this job he used to do. Where people were making all kind of money. And I went there and applied and boom, I got the job as an insulator. And I was a little nervous, right? Because I never done anything like physical labor. Not that I was worried about the work. I was more worried about like, what was I expected to know? Any kind of skills I needed to have. And, anybody know insulation, you develop certain skills or whatever, but it's one of those things anybody could do as long as you got a motor and you're a go-getter. You can do it and make some money in it. But yeah, I was out there, started insulating, and then that's when I started to learn about other fields and about all different kinds of work. I was exposed to a lot more, especially in the trades industry and the construction industry, doing commercial work, industrial work, all sorts of things. I was everywhere working on great jobs and jobs for the government, state, just a little bit of everything. So if I just wanted to work as one of these, that's why I don't. Okay. All right. That's why I see a lot of these videos here on YouTube that say where people are talking like, man, look, they hate when you go to work, do your job, and just go home. Okay, maybe they do hate it, right? Maybe they hate it. I don't know why you're going to work worried about what the other person thinks anyway. I mean, I when I go to work, I'm there for me, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. But if you just go to work and do your job and go home, sometimes you miss other things that you could be learning for yourself, not for the company, not for nobody, for you. So when I went to a job as an insulator, I paid attention to everything. I talked to electricians on the job sometimes I'd run into. I'm in the attic. It was a shame. Sometimes they had us doing work in the attic, and the HVAC guy would be working at the same time, and we'd be up there getting the insulation dust all over the place, or the fiberglass, and they just had to deal. They just had to deal with it, right? I mean, but I would talk to those guys, and I ended up talking to a lot of people and learning like different, just seeing how the thing work, how the order operations and how these buildings are made and the structures and all that. So yeah, you can go and just go to work, do your job, and go home. I don't know how that's helping you all the time though. I don't care if you work at McDonald's, man, and you just go see the structure of how McDonald's runs or how these fast food places run, man. It's just it's crazy. Then you start to realize like why you need structure and you need policies. I don't care if you're one like me, it's a one-man show. I have policies. That's just what it is. I have policies. There's a might as well just be like it's almost like SOPs, like what the way I operate. Because I need to have the same experience, the same outcome all the time. So, but that's something I got when I was insulating, man. I just started to see all aspects of construction. But in order to do that, sometimes you got to open your eyes. You got to go to these jobs, and it's about more than just the actual work you're doing. So now it's like fast forward to when I was planning on doing this kind of business for a long time, but fast forward to when I was about to start, I had a head start because all the things that I learned then, and from then I was able to take that and like, do little jobs, odd jobs here and there, helping this person, helping that person. But the main thing I learned how, just the way houses were built, seeing house after house after house, seeing the difference between house construction in the 2000s versus the 80s and the 70s and the 60s. To the 1800s, we're going to old Victorian style houses and blowing the walls. I'm seeing them move houses, moving these Victorian houses, like, picking them up, moving them to another town. And then we come and we have to insulate it, and because it has balloon walls and all that, it's just all these things that I learned that I didn't necessarily have to learn. To me, that's the way things got to go. And that's, like I said, that's what the channel's about. So, hopefully people can get something out of it that, a little more than just, it's good. If all you get is maybe you see how to repair some drywall or something like that, that's plenty. That's plenty. That's more than enough. But if you want to look at it a little deeper, man, there's going to be more. There's always going to be more information available, to those who want it. Yeah. But I'm just one of them people, man. I appreciate everybody who takes the time to watch and listen or whatever, man, because I don't take it for granted. Ain't nobody forcing you to, so I definitely appreciate you. Let me see. I'm also looking at other, like I said, for the updates of the channel. Hopefully, if I can get I don't have to get a certain amount of sponsors, but just keep in mind, I want y'all to always keep in mind, I will not have a sponsorship, or I won't have something on this channel where if it's something that doesn't fit or something I don't believe in, period. Or I would already done it. Like, I don't want to try, the new Sawzall blade or something like that that your company's offering. It's cool, but if it's $50, I'm just not even gonna try it, right? Because you just unnecessarily $50. I ain't gonna do it just because you paying me to do it, and then try to talk people into buying a $50 blade. It's just, I'm not going to do that. So I've had plenty of opportunity to do that. Not going to do it, but I will be doing some sponsors, and hopefully that will, once again, like I said, allow me to do more work. So hopefully, I want to know how, if anybody, how's your business going? If anybody has any questions, you can, whatever questions you got really don't matter. It could be about business or something else. It's just, I'm all over I can go all over the place. So hopefully I will be getting a video out this weekend. Um, and hopefully that will include, well, not include, but that'll be the start to just a string of videos I can start putting out a couple videos a week and just not have any kind of hiccups in that, and still go live twice a month at least. At least if I can go live twice a month, that'll be wonderful. But you know, um, so I'll probably be on here. I'll probably give it about 10 more minutes. Let me see. Have you ever wanted to travel while doing your jobs? That's Curtis. If you mean like just what do you mean, like go on vacation or whatever? If that's what you mean, then yeah. What look, the one reason I do this, especially being self-employed, is I work it out. I know I have more time off than the like, probably majority of people working. There's certain times of the year that I do it, but I got a lot of things going on too. A lot of got a lot of kids, got a lot of children. So, I the way I try to set things up is um I travel when I can, but we haven't been able to do much, but it hasn't really been because of me, man. My wife is a school administrator. She's what I say is a principal, like a principal, like to me it's like the mayor. Being a principal is like a mayor of a small town. It's being a mayor of a small town, man. There's a lot to it, and she has not really been able to do a whole lot um of traveling. But absolutely, absolutely, man. We're gonna get out here and get things going. Let me see. HR McNair. I don't have a question, but you and Bulletproof have motivated me to start my own handman business. I appreciate you. Hey, well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm not one of them people who believe in, and I'll be doing a video about it. I'm not necessarily a believer in the you know, if I could do it, you can do it thing. Because I'm not necessarily a believer in that. What I'm a believer in is that if you're willing to do what I did, then you can do it. Of course. Like I said, and if you see me, I'm not a small guy out here. If I'm out here putting in this work, then of course, if you're willing to put in that work, you can do it, man. But it's a small amount of people that are willing, so it's good that you're getting out there, man. But once you get out there, that's what I tell people. Once you get out there and you get yourself established, and it takes a while. It might even take a few years. And once you get established, I mean, you can almost start picking jobs and just like, you earn a reputation, and sometimes it gets even a little difficult because I have customers who won't give my name out. They will not give my name out because they're like, nah, you're not. They're not my. These people not gonna mess me up. They don't want to risk one of their friends or somebody like that just messing up the relationship between me and them. So it's like, come on, man, But they steady give me work, so I mean, I really don't need their other customers. Okay, you talking about handyman work? I, I have wanted to. I thought about doing that. I thought about eventually, if what direction am I taking this channel, right? I thought about, hey, maybe I'll take it to a year and just go work with other people. You know what I mean? Like maybe a day working with, it's almost like a dirty jobs type thing, right? With Mike Rowe. Do something like that where I get out here and I go work with this guy for a day, go work with this guy, see how they do it over in Tennessee. See, what kind of work they do down there. See how it's just different. Because most of my work that I do has been in my little area, from Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, like this, that area. So, but yeah, I've actually absolutely thought about going out and doing these things. Jared Dutton, yo, I love your stuff. Do you aspire to hire people or get contractors to take on more work so you can increase your revenue? Uh, no, no. I actually, my what I'm trying to do with it is take the money and do other businesses with it. So me and my wife, we have a few plans on other things that we want to do. I thought about it, but I just don't. I'm be honest with you. I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want the headache. So I do subcontract because in my state, I am a contractor on paper in my state. So I subcontract people to do work, um, other contractors, and I seem to have a good group. I don't, keep them busy or anything like that. Like, I just call them every once in a while. Normally, I just do everything, but I call them every once in a while. But I just want to increase the revenue other ways. It's just for me in this business. For me, one problem is to find people who can do like so many different types of work. It's tough, man. It's tough. Like it's hard enough to find people, somebody just who's good at drywall, let alone who's going to be good at everything from electrical to drywall to just everything. The closest you'll probably get is maybe the guys that do like apartment maintenance or something like that. But I mean, how many of those guys are out there? Just waiting for you to call. I mean, you can always train people up if you're willing to do that. You have to grab them while they're younger. But I don't know, man. I mean, maybe, but as far as right now, how I'm thinking, nah, I don't. I just don't really want to grow to a larger business. I kind of want to just keep it me. When things get a little crazy, I enlist one or two of my daughters to help. I got a whole house full of them, so hey, they could put in this work too, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, but nah, I don't think I want to grow this at the time. At right now, I might change my mind 5 years from now. Who knows? But let me see. HC, I in Canada been watching for a while. I started my stuff also. Good stuff, man. I listened to what you said about starting and doing pretty good for part time hustling. Spend most of my money on more tools though. I know, man. I look, and it's crazy because you can. There's nothing wrong with starting this thing part time. It's just that I said it before that. Well, I was talking about it earlier in the video. That man, the prices of everything is so high. It's it's getting harder and harder to start. It's just getting harder and harder to start the business because everything's so expensive. What I had to go buy the other day. Now you can buy cheaper stuff. So you could I don't frown upon people that are going to Harbor Freight or look, if you were to go through my bag, you're gonna find some Cobalt tools, you'll find some Irwin tools, you'll find some Klein and things of that nature, but I mean, and I do use a lot of Makita, and it's not cheap. But you guess why it's another reason why you kind of got to draw the line somewhere with this business because man, I'll spend money on tools and just inventory. Dude, I just go and buy screws. Like I'll buy stuff. I buy stuff. I just don't. I mean, I can't say I don't need it. That I'll never need it. And when I'm buying it, I have the feeling like I'm gonna need this very soon, even though I've never needed it before. It's just weird, man. It's just weird how that happens. But man, you will. I'm telling you, yeah. You will spend all kind of money on tools if you let yourself. I said with the price going up, with everything going up in price, how do you increase your prices, or do you have any idea how to go about increasing my prices so it's not hurting my business? Um, there's not really an easy way to do it. I don't have fixed pricing, so I don't have any fixed pricing. So every estimate I do is just new to what it is. So I just add in what I need to add. If I materials have gone up, of course that is it. I'm not everybody does it the way I do it either, because I a lot of times I separate the materials. Unless it's like going to be 10, $15 of materials, or $30, I don't worry about it. As far as separating it, I add it to the price, but I don't separate it. But if it's I've had to increase prices like every year, to the point where now I'm at, like, say even my minimum, I'm at like 125 at the minimum, and debating on whether that needs to go up. You know, there was a I shouldn't I didn't even want to halfway admit it, but there was a time, dude, I was doing like $75. I did a job one time for $50 when I started out, and the lady was trying to drop the price on that, and it just made me mad. I told her straight up, like, well, look, if I go any lower, it's just not worth it. And she was like, oh, okay. But she didn't care. She just wanted a lower price. She didn't care. She was just wanting to go down until I said no. And that's what she did. So now I just you gotta run the numbers. You gotta play with the numbers, and look at your, you know, look at your profit, man. Not just the revenue. You have to look at the profit and see what you're working with. But you'd be surprised at what people are charging out here. So, like I said, I follow behind a lot of other contractors, and some of the numbers that I'm hearing that these my customers are telling me about, what, like, every company, like door companies or something. It could be somebody like Pella. Like, what they're charging to install these doors is wild. Like, it's a price that I would never even come to, like, get to. I wouldn't even, like, imagine up some of the prices that some of these companies are charging. So, I think there's more room. This A lot of times there's more room than you think. But you also sometimes you need to, if you're not established yet, you gotta start advertising, and you got to do some guerrilla marketing. Then if you don't have the money to go with Google, or uh, like the Google LSA, or I don't do Google ads. I don't think Google ads would work for this style of business. LSA, it'll work, but they're expensive. Or Yelp, or all these things. I mean, I don't even know if Yelp will work. But anyway, all the lead generating companies out here, you might have to just add that into the price. Like, you're gonna have to just get more customers or get more leads. You increase the prices, yeah, there are gonna be people who are not gonna go with it. It's just how it goes. So you're gonna want to be able to just build, get more leads, so you can get more people that understand, or are okay with your pricing. It's also about, and I'll be talking about that in some videos too. It's also about, as a person who runs a handyman business, if that's what you're calling it, or that's just the nature of it. It's true that people inherently just think that it's cheaper to hire a handyman. It's just cheaper to hire you because it's been cheaper to hire a handyman. It is crazy, because if people will find me, somebody will go on Google, do a Google search, find my business, click on there, go to the website, which, so I have that for the business. Find the form, fill out the form, so I get a notification that they want me to do a quote. And I've had people do all that and still are looking for handyman prices. And it's like, how? How it's obviously a legitimate, like a full business, but you're still looking for lower prices because of what? Like you're getting all the same things that you would get with any other contractor out here. But people just see it in that way. So it's up to you to present yourself where, people they'll pay you more. You're gonna have to wow some people out here and whatever, but it's inevitable. You're gonna have to, if it depending on what your prices are. I don't know how low you're going right now, but you're gonna have to raise the prices like at some point. It's just how it goes, man. So I don't know what kind of work you're doing. I found that certain kinds of work, it is harder. It is harder to raise the prices. And it also, like I said, it just depends. It depends on where you live. There's a lot of factors that go into it. HC tools is an addiction. Oh, man, I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm always there. Somebody said something. I did a video. I just did one about the job site tables, and somebody in the comments mentioned the Ryobi folding table, and then I saw it in the store, and I was like, it's like $200, and it's like a cart, like a cart that you would use to have for a job site thaw or something like that. And man, I wanted it. I don't need it. I do not need that table right now. But I mean, I was this close to buying it, man. Just because, why not? Just because like I said, I got an issue. So I know what you're talking about, man. Those tools will eat up all your money. There's a reciprocating saw I'm about to buy. But I did talk myself out of buying it the other day. It was like $140. But yep. All right, y'all. But man, we've been on here about a little over 45 minutes. Hopefully in the future, I'll be putting up notification or something to let people know I'm going live. But I could not figure out how to do that. Couldn't figure out how to do it. So HC is looking at the Makita drywall cutter. Yeah. It's a tough one because I went so many years without having that Makita drywall cutter. And it's not one of those things you absolutely have to have. It's one of those luxury tools. Especially if you're doing big repairs or whatever, you're doing a lot of drywall repairs. It doesn't work. It's terrible for if you're trying to cut shapes out. So if you're trying to do circles or something like that, it's not gonna cut out for like recessed lighting or something. Horrendous, right? You can't even see where the line is going trying to cut the circle. But if you're just cutting straight lines, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Like I said, dust free. It leaves the edge a little frayed, so you have to clean up the edge a little bit. But it, like I said, goes right, makes a smooth cut, goes right underneath the studs, or right up to the studs or whatever. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Keep them vids coming. Oh, they're coming, man. They're coming. I've been working on like 3 or 4 of them. I'll be coming out with one this weekend, a business one, I think this weekend. And part of it's going to be, working with Jobber or whatever. But I think Jobber is good stuff, man. I actually do. I actually think Jobber is a good platform. And if you're the type that wants to grow into a bigger business, then, it's something that you can do. It'll grow with you. Let me see. Jared Sutton, what other businesses are you and your wife looking into? Well, mostly they're education related. So they're different things in the education field. Like I said, she was a teacher for 20 something years, and now she's got her doctorate and she's an administrator. So we've been looking at things in that field. Things whether they're certain education related, daycare type situations. Got another daughter that does a lot of things in that field. So they're more in that lane, in the education and childcare related lane. So, like I said, I might eventually. I don't know. I might eventually do something with this if I can get to the point where I can find somebody reliable. Just one person, maybe that'll be it. If I decide to go ahead and get somebody, and I get one person and they end up being reliable, okay, then that might change how I feel about this whole thing. Hold on, let me get something to drink. Yeah, that might change how I feel about this whole thing, but man, it just seems tough. It's tough to just to find the people out here that want to learn. Or maybe, like I said, we'll be able to get more and more people out here if people are watching my videos, they're watching Ray's videos, they're um other contractor videos. I don't know, you got Victory and place like that where they show you that it's work, but you can enjoy this kind of work. That's the bigger thing. Perkins Brothers, I don't know, like all the guys out here making these videos. People need to see that it's not all terrible. Like some of the work is you can enjoy what you're doing. You can still have a good day at work. It could be a pleasant job. I did installation. I did that for 4 years. It wasn't all bad. It was sometimes sometimes it's tough. Sometimes you might run into a crawl space or a job where you like, man, that salesman went and got this job because he didn't have to do it. Because he looked at this thing, it wasn't no way I would have took it. But you're gonna have those days. But for the most part, man, there's like, to me, the good days way outweigh the bad days. So, if I could find more people like that, then maybe I'll change my mind about the about growing this business. Jeff Coyle, you're doing great work. Keep it up, man. I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate you. It says, HC, I'm using Market. Somebody sold me on that before. Hey, Market's good too. Market's, look, I'm not like, gonna bash anybody else. Like I said, I use Market too. So I used Market for a while, for years. So I was introduced to Jobber and then I started using Jobber. And it's just that there are differences, but I'm not going to tell somebody that Jobber's trash. That Market or Market is junk, man. No, Mark is a good platform. It's a good platform. It don't and I think they understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to be for the small guy, where, like I said, where Jobber is a little bit more. It's just a little bit different. It's just different a little bit, and it's also, to me, it's made to grow with you. And certain businesses that I think Jobber works better for. Like I said, if you're a handyman and you do a lot of small work, man, Jobber is just better with the little jobs. You're doing landscaping and things of that nature. I mean, with their routing platforms and all that, like, Jobber is just good with that. But as far as just generally, like, what they both do, oh, they're both good. And I didn't even think about Jobber until they got a lower price option. I because when when I started on Market, it was $25 a month, and I was starting out, and that's all I was like, I can't afford no $200 a month platform out here. I had to, so that's why I started with Market. But now I think a lot of people realize that, so everybody, even Jobber has a $40 program, just like Market's program is $40. So, yeah, I like both of them. But I'm on Team Jobber now, so it says, I enjoyed the show, bro. Keep them coming. Hey, I'm going to. We're gonna, and when I'm gonna do these lives, man, I plan to do like build these things up, build them up, man, and have whether I do have a video come out and then we do a live having a discussion about the video. It's gonna go. We're gonna go all over the place, dude. Whether it's how the economy is affecting things, the micro, the macro of it all, and we're going to go in so many different directions that I just think we're going to have a good time, and we're all going to learn, all learn from each other. So, Maxwell Bauer, where can I buy XAIA the token and pre-sale tokens? Dude, you got the wrong place, man. I don't know nothing about that. Know nothing about them tokens. You know, when I see the XA, I thought you were talking about a tool from Makita. They're all like XZ. Their serial numbers start with the X. So yeah, I thought you were talking about Makita, but you talking about some pre-sales and some something else. This ain't the place for you. HR Manere, it's hard work sometimes, but I really love figuring it out and doing new things. It brings a real sense of accomplishment. It does, and that's the bigger thing. That's one of the biggest messages I try to push, and why I always talk about that Bob Proctor line about how the work was made for us. You know, we weren't made for work. Work was made for us. You know, that's the whole thing. Like you work, you get something from the work, like that whole sense of accomplishment, especially when you build stuff and or you fix a problem, or it might even be a small thing to you. I fixed somebody's storm door. They had a storm door where the hinges got bent or whatever, so they couldn't close it, and then they try to latch it, and the dogs would like hit the door and then run out, and it scared the Amazon people half to death. Man, just me adjusting that storm door so they were able to close and lock it. You would have thought it was Christmas. I don't know. It was Christmas wrapped up in a in their birthday. Like it was like that. They was just so excited, and it was like, man, But it did. It just, and that's just for something little. I've done a lot of jobs, like I said, since I follow behind a lot of other contractors. I've done a lot of jobs where people got their money taken. Where a contractor came and started up and then disappeared with the money. So, and even though that was the case, I still had to have my policies and protocols. So I still had to have people pay deposits and stuff like that, even though they just came off getting their money taken. But man, those relationships grew to where I did one. It was I was building a bar. It was a bar and a fence in their backyard or whatever. And since then, I mean, we're at the point that I've done everything. I've done crown molding in their house. I've done like 4 rooms. I think I did LVP flooring in 4 rooms. I've done some other stuff, some doors, repair some doors, and it's just where people just trust you, man, and just to get the work done, and just there is a huge sense of accomplishment. Huge. Robert Salazar Jr. Hi, working while listening. Working, listening while working. Good. Hey, I do the same thing. I told you, I'll be doing that a little later, man. I'm gonna have a later night because I'm on East Coast time, so it's almost 4:00 here, and I have to go to a job where I'm not gonna do a whole bunch though, but I'm gonna sand the drywall and prime it tonight, so that tomorrow I can hit the ground running, paint it, be completed, and have the whole job done tomorrow. So, but yeah. Stephen Vladimir. I said your last name fast because I don't know if I was pronouncing it right. I said it real fast, man. I don't know if you heard me, but I think I did it right. When starting out, do you feel you should quote lower as you're learning from each of your jobs you're doing as opposed to someone with more experience? I think it's up to you. You should start where you're still be able to sustain business. So, but how much lower? If you're struggling to get business, then yes, I feel like you should start lower. If you're new and it said it's probably going to be hard for you to charge high prices, just because, especially if people look you up and like you have no history, like you have no. There's some of these guys now. I just saw one today, a guy. Cause I'm the guy that sees your sign on your truck. I look you up on Google, man, just to see what you're doing. I saw a guy working across the street from my house. He has no internet presence except for next door. None. no internet presence, and I don't know how he could charge, like how much he could charge running his business that way. I think if you have all the bells and whistles and you're doing everything, if you really don't know what you're doing, then maybe you should just charge less, especially if you are going to be learning on the job or whatever. If you go and you know what you're doing, I don't think there's a reason for you to charge way less. It just might be to get business in the first place, but you just don't want to charge so low that these are just temporary customers because the second you charge them a real price, they're out of out of here. So and I started low. I think from early on when I first started, I only have maybe two customers I'm talking about from the 7 years ago, because I had no idea what I was doing with pricing, and I did charge low. All them people I told you about, I said something earlier about a lady that I was charging. um what did she say? The lady that was doing 50, I charged $50 for something, and I went back to her house and did more work. But as soon as I raised the prices just a little slightly more, they were out of there. They were out of there. And they had money. Wasn't even a thing. They just wanted cheap work done. So it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But you gotta set yourself up. You have to make yourself look like you have like your business is established. If you don't want to get charged like Earl and them, you don't want nobody coming at you trying to get Earl and them prices. You can't look like Earl and them. Like I say, if you're the guy that you have a presence on Nextdoor and that's it, like nowhere else online, they gonna take you. That's why people on Nextdoor, I don't know. My history with Nextdoor is that every time somebody calls me, it's somebody's cheap. To where I even tell my customers, please, whatever you do, don't mention me on Nextdoor. You talk to your friends with it, please just don't mention my business when you go on Nextdoor. Because I just don't, because it seems like everybody on there is just it's just cheaper. But yeah, like I said, if it helps you, and if you like you said, if you're learning, if you're actually learning, I took the first time I did a backsplash. Uh the amount that I took that backsplash for was probably a third of what I should have charged. But I took it because I wanted to get it, knowing that I wasn't gonna make the money, but I was gonna get the experience. So if you want to guarantee that you'll get a job, then yeah, lower the price so you can get the experience, but understand that you're doing that for a purpose. HC, just use Jobber. Does it allow people to input their information online so you don't need to? Now I'm gonna have to HC. I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't know. Now I do know what you're talking about. That market has that add-on that people can do that, and then it adds it to your leads. Um, I have to check. I have to check on that one. I have to check on that one. I didn't use it. Now I didn't use that feature personally with market. I know it had it, but I didn't use that feature. So it's not something I checked for. When I use Jobber, but I'll look into that for you. Uh, Stephen Vladimiro, you did good, man. Appreciate that, man. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to pronunciate pronounce these words right. Plea Black 3 caught you live, man. You did. You did. I ain't gonna be on here much longer though. We've been on here a little over. It's been actually a little over an hour now. I gotta learn how to announce the lives though. I don't know how to do it. But I will. Like I said, I want these to be more of a show where we're coming with a theme. We have a topic we're discussing. I got different lights. Actually, in the back, I got right now. I got my blue light. I don't have my yellow light on because it's Dub Nation over here. I do live on the East Coast, but I grew up in the Bay Area out in California. So it's Dub Nation all day. Warriors won last night. So normally I'd have the blue and the yellow light up that's representing Dub Nation, just in case anybody was wondering. But AC, nice catching live. Keep up the good work. Be safe. And you do the same, AC. You do the same. Everybody, make sure you be safe too. Let's see. People like I gotta play it back. I'm sure you covered some good stuff. I just covered the state of the channel, how we're trying to build, and I got it sponsored. Like I said, Jobber. Um, I'm working with Jobber now as far as a sponsorship with the channel. So we got a little, Jobber signed up to work with the finisher, man. So we're gonna do some things, but we're gonna do it my style. I think Jobber signed up with me for something it's a little different. So I'll be working with them on some of the videos. Um, Donald Clark, D, what's up, homie? My man D. I'm still at work. LOL. Glad I stumbled into your live though. Hey man, I appreciate you being here, bro. I was just, you know what, Donald, it's crazy because the Donald Clark, man, I grew up with him, man. We went to high school together, or used to hang out back in the day. And we had something. I don't know if you remember. Of course, you probably remember, man. We had the Sunday cruise. The Sunday cruise, man. I was talking to somebody about that the other day. And neither one of us had a car, man. I had to either get my mom's car, he had to get his mom's car, and but we figured out, man, to just ride around town and just act like we were stunting, like we were, doing our thing. We were young though, we were like 16, but man, it's good times, man. Hope everything's good with you and the family though. People like three. Have you ever built a bar for a deck? Um, I never built a. It's funny that no, I haven't. I built a bar and I built a deck, but I've never built a bar for a deck. Yeah, I never did that. No, no, no. But I'm not a see. That's the thing though. I've never been a deck builder. I'm not a deck builder. I'm a guy who I'm what you would consider. I told people it's hard to describe. I'm a s- I was trying to figure out how to even advertise it before. It's more like a small project specialist or a project specialist. Small contractor. The things that I do is, but I was never like a deck builder. So I've built a few decks. I've repaired a lot of them. I repaired a lot more decks than I've built. But normally, I don't think when people look for me, they don't look to. They're just not looking for decks. They're not looking for a deck specialist. So I've had times when I've done that, but it's more been for established customers who knew me, who were like, they don't care what it is, they want me to do it. So and that's mostly who I built decks for, are people like that. Donald. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, yeah, man. That's the Sunday cruise. Oh man, good times, good times. All right, Alex Broschneider. I'm trying to tell you, I'm pronouncing these things right. I know it. Greetings from a handyman in Germany. You're the most down to earth YouTube handymans, and I follow all of them. Keep it up. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But it's humble beginnings on my end, man. That's all. I don't it's not even me attempting to be down to earth and nothing like that. It's just I'm just like everybody else, where I started out working regular jobs and trying to figure this whole thing out. I didn't grow up where my father was a contractor, or I didn't grow up on a farm or anywhere where I was doing this kind of work. So I had to learn this. Everything I do now are things that I had to learn, but as an adult, and then try to figure it out. And then once I got in the mind that I was going to do the business, I started just doing it, just more and more, and just learning different aspects of it. And I went from doing flooring to adding in drywall. I did have a cheat code though, because I went to a technical high school where I took electronics. So even though electronics and electrical engineering, not electrical engineering, electrical construction is two different things, but electric is electric. It's like, so when you're learning about electricity and amperage and resistance and everything, it's all the same. So I learned all that, and I used to do circuit boards and everything. So I did have a background in that from earlier on. Yep, if the trades don't hurt, nothing else does. That's right. That's right, and it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. Trades don't work, nothing else does. Nothing will work. I'm not a deck builder either. I have an established customer who wants me to build a bar for the outside. What lumber would you recommend using? It's it's a toss up, man. I've used just to build a bar. I've used just salt treated, and then once it dries out, stain it. Have them stain it. That should be that should last. I mean, unless they just want like if they want cedar or something like that. But I don't know if cedar lasts any longer than salt treated wood. Now, and I also say this about the salt treated wood. Salt treated wood is just not the same as it used to be. I don't think there's anything you can use outside that's really superior to salt treated wood, but it's even that's not the same anymore because now, you know, I don't know if anybody knows that now every time you cut salt treated wood, wherever you cut is no longer salt treated anymore. So it seems like just the outside, and maybe the treatment penetrates a little bit into the wood, but not like what you would think. So it's like every time you cut it, you gotta go buy the solution to actually treat it again and to treat that area again. So it's the stuff that I've done is like I said, once I've just used regular salt treated wood, right from Lowe's or whatever, pine. And once it dries out, give it a few to dry. Once it dries out, though, stain it. And I mean, the last one I did is it's still there, man. It's still there, looking great, looking great. Now I didn't stain it; the customer stained it. Um, and I guess every year he redoes it, and it's looking good, man. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think what I. The biggest thing you need to do is make sure that you the bottom, whatever you're gonna have on the ground that you either, which I think is absurd that you got to put that tape on it, but either put something, some kind of barrier between wherever you're gonna put it. If you're gonna put it in concrete or on concrete, and put something on the bottom of it, like the tape or they actually make. What's the name of it? I'll look it up, man. But they actually make a instead of the joist tape, there's some kind of a liquid now that you can roll on to. Let me look it up. This deck. I'm just looking up liquid tape, and yeah. Let me. Matter of fact, I wonder if can I share. I told you I don't know nothing about this. I could share my. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. Right here. Is it showing it? Oh, modern technology. This stuff right here, man. Now, look, I don't know how well this stuff works. I don't know. But I promise you, if I build a deck this summer, I will be trying this out. Gets great reviews because this, instead of having to use that tape that is like my nemesis and putting it on each joist or whatever, this stuff right here, man. This stuff right here. If this works, great. Then all you gotta do is roll it on. All you gotta do is roll it on. So in something like this, you could also, you can put it underneath, but you want some kind of barrier between concrete and the wood. But yeah, stain it when it's done, man. Let it dry out a little bit. You'll be fine. You should be fine. All right. Splitfire 2001. You're part of my inspiration. Thank you. Business is good. About to have my first kid. Oh man, that's great. That's great, man. I wish if I could go back to when my daughter was born or whatever. I mean, I was only 21, 20, no, I was 22 when she was born. Oldest. Man, I wish I wish I would have had the knowledge or somebody. Like that's the thing, you know. Of course, there wasn't YouTube or nothing like that. I just didn't. It didn't cross my mind because I didn't have. There was no inspiration. You know, it was go get a job and try to make money and go to school. So that's what I was doing. I was going to school at that time, or going, you know, and working and trying to figure it out. Man, if I could have started it over when I was a machine. You know what I'm saying? I was a machine at that time. Man, I would have been working. I would have. I run circles around myself now. So fixing the deck right now, Splitfire. Man, it was bad before. Flip House. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Look, I didn't ran into some bad decks. There was a company. I'm telling you, one of my customers says she had her deck done. The company was called Decks in a Day. This deck was like 16 by 14. It was huge. It was a big deck. And she got it done in a day. Decks in a day. Yo, it was crazy. And when I went there, I had to end up basically, I had to dismantle. Yeah, I had to take the whole top off, replace some of the. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But yeah. Donald, I'm about to do a paper patio instead of a deck. Practice doing my trash containers. Took note of what I did wrong. Could I do better? Still some fear though. Hey, I know all about it, man. I know all about it. I got to do a paper patio at my mother's house for something in her backyard soon. And I'm not a landscaping guy, so I don't, you know, or hardscape. So all them pavers, man. You know that everything landscape is heavy. So, but that's good. That's good though, man, to do it because man, we gotta figure out how to save some money somehow with the way things are going right now. It's crazy. Yeah. I never really done any kind of pavers and nothing like that, man. That's where I kind of drew the line as far as if once it went into like landscaping or anything. And you know, and that's the reason why I didn't want to absorb the handyman thought the frame of mind where people look at you like you just do anything for money. So I kind of like cut off at like any kind of yard stuff. So I didn't do pavers or like I'm not gonna pull your weeds or nothing like that. But that's good, man. That's good with them pavers. But fear is healthy, man. It's healthy to have a little fear. It's, you know, I'll get jobs where sometimes I get it. I'm excited to do it, and then when it's coming up, I'm dreading it. Like, oh, I don't know, man. This job last time, I think I had to do a door not that long ago, and it's, you know, staining and everything. But the door was like, I think the door was about $800 for a solid wood door. But you know, I had to do everything to it because I was just replacing the interior door. So I got the door, and it's like now I gotta stain it. I gotta cut it all to fit this house from it was the '60s. So it wasn't the door, the opening wasn't straight. It was just, you know. And I'm like, man, if I mess this thing up, one wrong move, I'm, I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I'm gonna have to replace the door. It's gonna be like $800-900. Everything went good though, but good to have a little healthy fear. All right, y'all. Well, hey man, I appreciate everybody coming through. So I got to get out of here. I got to go over to this house, man, and get to work. It's probably gonna take me another. I'll probably go there for 2 hours, 2-3 hours. Get everything done I need to do. But hey, once again, we got a lot of things coming up, and hopefully I can get on here at least. It's gonna be a few times a month to go live, man. To just hang out with everybody, man, and you know, see what's going on. So, like I always say, stay safe, be blessed, and remember, if the trades don't work, nothing else does.